Hello everyone, it's Jen from Creative and Crafty Housewives, and I'm here today to show you how to make a really cute Valentine shirt using the iColor 560 white toner printer. So today I am going to show you, I've made a shirt before, we've gone through the whole process. That was the first project that I made with my white toner printer, and I showed you just how print, press, done. So today I'm going to show you how to take a design. So this cute design, I'll link to it in the description, this cute design, and how to remove one of the colors. So instead of having a solid design, we're going to have part of the design as the print, and then part of the design is actually the shirt itself. So the color of the shirt. So if you're going to do something like this, you want to make sure that the color of the blank, like the shirt that you're putting it on, coordinates with the project that or the design that you're using. Specifically, like this worked really well because it's cute Valentine's, lots of pinks. And there's a couple of other things that you might want to look at, and we'll talk about that while I show you how to change your design so that you can remove one of those colors. That's all done in the RIP software, which is fantastic. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was really a little bit scared about trying this process, but it turned out great. I really love it. I think it's so cute. So let's jump in and look at how we're going to go ahead and create this design. Okay, so here we are in the iColor Pro Rip Essentials, and we're just going to go ahead and find the image that I want to use. So we're going to go ahead and click there. We'll go ahead and click on the Valentine Bookshop, say open, and then it's going to go ahead and add it here to the canvas. And I have been playing with this a little bit already, so you can see that I've already changed the background color, but we're going to just jump over here and show you what it would look like if I hadn't already changed that color. So when you upload or open, import a file, oftentimes you'll see the black background of like your canvas. So I'm going to keep it on this for just a couple of seconds to show you a few different tools that I really like in the Pro Rip Essentials. One of them is this tool here, this remove blank space. So if you click on this, what that does is it just tightens up your binding box here. So instead of having extra white area around your design, it just really tightens that up, which allows you to then click over here and you can resize your image, and you just get the ability to use up more, I feel of your print film. So now we've got this on here. I have it sized the way I want it. So what I'm going to do now is, so here it says substrate color. This is what's currently black. This is literally only giving you an idea of what your design is going to look like on the color blank you have. It does not impact the print at all. So the shirt that I'm going to be using today is pink. And it's kind of this more blushy pink, and it's a little bit lighter. I feel like it might even be a little bit lighter than this, but we're just going to say, okay. And that's going to load it here. And what you're going to see is that this whole background changes, and you can see that this color is pretty close to the sum of the colors that I have in my design. The other thing that you can see with this setup like this is that all of this particular design is outlined in black. The reason I picked this design for this project is very specifically because of that. So you see we have these little hearts hanging out here that are this almost same color pink. So if I am going to remove all of this color pink, if there wasn't that black outline, you just wouldn't see that element at all. And so I don't want elements to be lost, which is why I felt like this design was a really good option. So now we're going to jump over here, and we're just going to check a couple of things, make sure I have everything set up correctly before we move into removing that color. So we're over here on print settings. I have everything set up for overprint, which is what I'm doing for this project. And that's why my image automatically mirrored when it was imported, because it knows the material that I'm using, and it automatically sets it up so that when I press it, it will be correct. You do not need to mirror your design when you have it set up for overprint. Now, the other thing that I'm going to come over here to color and toner. So this is the screen that we want to be on, where it says black toner handling. So if I was just removing the black, I could do that quick and easily here, but I'm actually not removing black in this project. I'm going to remove a pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be over here on my image. I'm going to right click, and you can see, like, if I scroll down, there is an option for color replace / remove. I'm going to click on that. So now that's going to open up this box here. So I can now click add color to remove / replace. So I could technically do this multiple times. First, I'm going to click on this. I want to pick a color from the graphic. If you had like created this design yourself and you knew exactly like what color picker thing you needed, you could do that. I am going to use the design so I can just like scroll around. You can see here that in that little box that it's like changing based on where I'm at in the photo. So I want to remove this color, and then we'll look at how to make sure, like, to kind of pick and choose here. So I want to choose that color. Now it says, what do we want to do? So I could change this color to something else from the print. So I could say everything that's that color, I actually want it to be purple, and I could do that. Or I could use the color picker to choose like a completely different color that's not even in the design. But what I want to do is I want to remove the color. So I'm going to go ahead and click remove color. And you can see what it's done is it's removed quite a bit. And some of it is like the color I wanted removed. So you can see everything that was the building is removed. But then it's also removing some that's like a touch lighter. So like the inside of the sign, the door, those couple of things. So that's where this feature, this tolerance feature here comes in. So what I want to do is I want to click on the colors here. So click there, see them be like highlighted or whatever. And then you can see that this opens up. So now I can reduce my tolerance. So if I go down to 1, if you watch, I'm going to slowly slide, like more and more things are disappearing. So I can play with this, and this is completely your call. Like whatever you think looks best. I don't know that it's ever going to be 100% perfect. So you can see like when I have it on 5, I'm going to have more of the pink hanging out of the color that I want to lose. But when I go up to as little as like 12, let's see, even 10 here, I start to lose parts of my door, right? So, and like there's difference between like my sign and stuff. So it depends on what you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide this up, and I'm just going to lose everything that is kind of that lighter pink. So I'm going to continue to play with it, and I'm just going to scroll, and I've decided that my like perfect situation will be when the door and the sign don't have any like weird little bits of color. So like right now, the door and the sign, well, actually there's still a little bit on the door that I'd like to get rid of. So if I click this up here to 30, so everything, I feel like my sign looks really good. The door looks good. I am having a little bit, so like if you're down here in these, different little bricks, there's a little bit of white around some of them. You just kind of have to decide, because I don't know that it's ever going to be exactly perfect when you're dealing with varieties of colors. So like I've still got like maybe, do we want to bump it up? So 'cause I was just noticing like there's still like a tiny bit in here. So do we bump this up to like 31 and see if it catches that? 32 maybe? We just don't want to go too far. Okay, I think that 34 looks really pretty good. Like there's a little bit of whiteness around some of these, but my little awning overhang looks good. I feel like that's good for me. So I want you to pay attention to what the design looks like right here. And then I'm going to hit OK, and we're going to go back to the canvas. And look, my design looks barely different at all, right? Because you're seeing the color of the shirt show through. So if I jump back over here to artwork and I click on this color and I say I click this over to black and hit OK. So everything, if I was putting that on a black shirt, this is what it would look like versus that pink shirt. So we can come back over here and again, like we could change it to white and say OK. And then this is what it would look like. So that whole cute little store would be white instead of the pink color. So again, this little box here is great for like picturing what your design will look like on the blank you're using. And it's not a perfect science because like you're maybe not going to get the exact same color as your blank, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what that's going to look like. So now the next thing that we can do is we can jump over to our printer. Well, first of all, we can send it to the printer. So let's go ahead and click here. And then we're going to load our film into the printer and we're ready to go. Okay, so I'm using this tray down here. And for this, or not tray, but the little bypass tray. And when using this, you want your shiny side up, the print side, which is the more matte side, down. So anytime you're using just one sheet at a time, you'll use this tray. The other thing that you want to make sure and do is make sure that your cartridges are in the right order. It does tell you right here. So spot color overprinting, we're going to have cyan, magenta, yellow, and then you can either have black, white, or clear. I have my white in here, so this is ready to go for the overprinting that I'm doing. Here I have my press. It is preheated to 310 degrees, and I have been preheating the base of my press with the top down. So the bottom part is also nice and warm. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my print. So I'm going to lay it. So this is like film side down, ink side up. We're going to lay it down on here. And now this is the transfer, like the adhesive sheet. So you can see it has a yellow and grid on the back of it. So I'm just going to lay that on top, make sure it covers my print completely. And then I just have a piece of this butcher paper here. We're going to place that on top. Get this all situated here. And then I'm going to close my press and press for 120 seconds with a nice firm pressure. And we'll just let that go. Okay, time is up. So we're going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And then we're going to quickly, using a piece of cloth, just rub over this for 5 to 10 seconds. And then we want, while everything is still hot, we want to go ahead and remove this. So I have a fingernail, so I'm just using it to hold down this corner. You can also lift gently if you need to, but we want to keep this as close to the heat as possible so that it does not cool off. Because if it gets cold, then the adhesive doesn't stick down. Like you can't peel it back. I know my arm is kind of blocking this, but you can see. So you can see here just how much of the adhesive stuck down. Like you can, like it's like a reverse of what's here. And now we have our actual design with the adhesive on the back. No weeding required, which is like my favorite part. So I don't know if you can tell, there's not actually very much on this, but there's a little bit of adhesive like along these edges. That, well, actually, there's quite a bit up here. So you can see it really well along here. That will definitely show up on our shirt as just like a white line, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to quickly go like right along the edges to just remove, I don't know if I can cut a straight line, where that adhesive is. And I may have gotten a little closer to the edges than I prefer to on the sides of this, but there you go. Like just a quick, simple, easy, remove that. I do want to, okay, that was just like a little. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to press our shirt. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And now I have my shirt here. This is just a pink shirt. And I've already lint rolled it. So you will want to lint roll it, but I'm just going to go ahead and press the area where we're going to put our design. That will help remove any moisture and of course wrinkles, but specifically moisture out of the fabric. So we just need to do that for like 5 to 10 seconds, not too long. Okay, so now I can move that out of the way, and now we can locate our design onto the shirt. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our shirt. We have it preheated. And now we're going to locate our design. So I'm going to move that just a little bit. I like on my t-shirts, I like for my design to be normally I would say like 3 fingers down, but because this design is more vertical than it is horizontal, I'm going to put it a little higher than that. So like 2 kind of fingers, just because I don't want it to be too low. And then we just want to look and just make sure we've got. So the nice thing is like this peak of my house is pretty centered on the design. And then we've got the tag that's pretty centered in the shirt. So I think that actually looks really good. So now what we're going to do, oh, and then I just moved it a little bit. So now what I'm going to do, now whether or not you choose to do this is completely up to you. I just want to make sure nothing moves on mine. So I'm actually going to use a couple of pieces of heat resistant tape just to hold it in place. And then we're going to cover it again with our craft paper. We are going to just make sure this stays out of the way. I've got plenty of room back there, but we're going to go ahead and slide that back in place. And this time we're just going to press for 30 seconds. So again, 310 degrees for 30 seconds. Okay, so our 30 seconds is up. We can go ahead and move this out of the way. We're going to remove this. And now what we're going to do is we are going to let this cool completely. So if you want to speed up the cooling process a little bit, there's a couple of things you can do. You can use like a cooling block, something like that. I don't have one of those. So what I do is I just move it to the side onto a cooler surface. So like my table here, it's cool. It's not a heat press. So that will help like pull out that heat, but you do want to make sure that it is completely cool. I would say cold. Do not try to remove this while it is still even a little bit warm. Now my design is completely cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this carrier sheet. So remove the carrier sheet. I'm going to peel out this little piece of tape. And then we want to like roll tight away from the design. This will just help peel everything away without peeling like too much off at once. This is especially important if you're trying to maybe speed up your process and your design might not be 100% cool. Mine definitely was. So now you can see the design is on here, but I want to show you, I'm hoping that the camera will pick up how shiny this is right now. So especially like, because you can see it next to the fabric, the difference between like the fabric and then how shiny it is. So the next thing that we need to do is we're going to do what is called a post press. And I have lowered the temperature on my heat press to 250 degrees. So we're just going to wait for that to come down to 250 degrees and then we'll do the post press. My heat press is now at 250 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and place our shirt back on the heat press. So we're just going to lay it flat. And then this is the iColor like finishing sheet. So you want to use this when you're doing your post press. So the post press is 250 seconds or 250 degrees for 20 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and slide that back in. We're going to go ahead and move this back and then we'll go ahead and close it for 20 seconds. 20 seconds is up. We're going to go ahead and move this. We're going to allow this to cool for just a few seconds, not very long. And then we're just going to pull back the finishing sheet. And then I want you to look at how different this looks and how less shiny it is now that we did that finishing press. Doesn't that look so fantastic? And the thing that I love about this is that because I knocked out that pink color, this feels so soft. So like instead of one solid, big, almost like a sticker type decal, we have this fun design, which I just love. I think it's so cute. So we have this fun design and it's broken up by the actual fabric of the shirt, which is going to help with like stretching, washing, all of those things. Isn't that so cute? I just love it. Okay, and that's it. It was a lot easier, right, than we thought maybe that it was going to be. I know when I was first like looking at the different things, like rasterization still scares me a little bit. But when I was looking at the different options, I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I was a little bit concerned. I do think the type of design that you choose to use will make a difference in your final project. I talked about it before, but I really liked in this design how all of the different little elements have that black outline. I think that that makes a big difference so that you can still see what the design is supposed to look like. You don't lose any of that. Because I did show you like how like with some of these hearts, if it didn't have that black outline on it, you wouldn't even know that that heart was supposed to be there because by removing that color of pink, it just would have removed the heart. But this design worked perfect. There are so many designs out there that this would work with. And I think it would also work, like you don't have to have the design be as much of that one color. So, I mean, we really could have chosen a shirt that was more like kind of this like goldish brownish color. That would have worked as well. Anything that kind of gives you like, from what I understand, some like gaps in your design, just it helps with the longevity of your print. It gives like a little more, I think I mentioned before, a little more like stretchability. It helps like in the washing process, just all of those things. It's just going to help your design last longer. So I hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Remember, we're learning white toner together. So each new project that I bring you, it's my first time doing them. So we've done a shirt, which was really fun, like without changing anything on the design. We did our cute little tags, the paper tags for the Christmas gift that was using like the overprint so that it actually showed the white ink. So cute. I really, really love how those turned out. I actually had someone come up to me and be like, okay, your little gift looks a lot cuter than ours. And really it was just a soap and a tag, but the tag was so cute. I really was proud of that. But so we've learned those two things. And now today we learned how to knock out a color. You don't just have to use black to be able to do that. And so if you have an idea for what we should do next, leave it in the comments. I will be happy to tackle something. I do eventually, I'm going to have to try rasterization and maybe we'll have like a video just talking about what that is before we even try it. I've been watching videos. I feel like I understand it a little bit better. And again, the RIP software does help because it just does a lot of the work for you, which is fantastic. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you here. We're going to be bringing a lot more white toner projects, Cricut projects. I have a laser now. I've got to start trying that. All the different things. And we want to make sure that we're bringing you what you want to see. So go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.